So how often can you solicit your donors? I'm Chad Barger, and that's what we're talking about in this week's Productive Fundraising Weekly Journey. How often can you solicit your donors? It's really up to you, but it's not an arbitrary decision. It's determined by how much of something you do. It's determined by how often you talk to donors without soliciting them. So how often do you have a contact with them where you're just saying thanks, or you're inviting them to something, or you're just spreading the news on the impact of the support they've already given you? That's what dictates how often you can solicit your donors. You know, it's not a set rule of thumb that every 3 months, every 6 months, once a year. It's determined by the total contact that you have with them. Specifically, there's a law, we call it the law of 7 in fundraising. So 7 non-ask touches for every 1 solicitation. That ensures that donors don't feel over-solicited. This comes down to some great research, probably almost a decade ago now, by Penelope Burke of Cygnus Research in her awesome book, Donor-Centered Fundraising. I'd encourage anybody to read that. A great read that really gets you into the mind of donors and how they respond and how they feel about the actions we take. So it's a law of 7. So 7 non-ask touches for every 1 solicitation. And this can be anything. It can be an invitation to an event, a personal note, a thank you call, especially a thank you call from a board member, a great way. So you just need to map out your 7. And if you can do your 7 touches in 3 months, then you can solicit quarterly. If you can't, if it takes you longer, then maybe you're twice a year. If you're a really small shop and it takes you all year to get those 7 done, then the annual appeal might be the most you can do. But that's the rule. That's how you make sure your donors feel loved and not over-solicited. This week's free resource is my sample donor touch points. So it's just a big old list of all these various ways that you can reach out to donors without asking for dollars, making them feel valued and not over-solicited. So give that a download in the free resources section. This week's instantly actionable quick tip: open your fundraising or communications plan and count them. How many things are in there that aren't solicitation? Are there 7 items between each solicitation? If not, maybe we need to bump that up. Just take a look and really plan it out. Make sure that you have this proven fundraising science built right in your fundraising plan. That's it, everybody. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us for this week's Productive Fundraising Weekly Journey. The free resources mentioned are available at productivefundraising.com/fundraising-resources. That's productivefundraising.com/fundraising-resources. We'd love to hear your input. You can join the discussion in our exclusive Facebook group, The Fundraising Fish Fry. There's always lots of great tips and peer support going on over there. Finally, if you like this week's video, please hit the thumbs up button. We'll see you next week for the Productive Fundraising Weekly Journey.